Okay, we just want to cover some information on title bars and title strips. So on an engineered drawing, we have, of course, the drawing and all of the dimensions to create that drawing. But there is other information that is necessary for the machinist to know so that he can manufacture this part. Some of that information will be found in the title bar or the title strip. Essentially, what this is an information box or bar that gives information regarding not just specifics to the part. So on that title bar, title strip, there will be four key things that will be mentioned among some other things. So uh, the title the title block will be located in the bottom right hand corner of the drawing. And typically it's going to be broken up in a way that allows the reader of the print to know, first of all, what the drawing number might be. So this might be drawing number 402, whatever it is. Okay, so this is somewhere on the drawing. It doesn't have to be in this location, but somewhere in the title block, there has to be a drawing number. Okay, there also has to be the name of the company. So this could be the customer's name, and usually is the customer's name. Underneath that will be the part name or description of the part. Okay, so the company who's ordered the part, perhaps, the part number or the drawing number. Okay, the part name or the description. And then for the rest of the title block, we have a couple more pieces of information that we need to put here. So we need the, somewhere on here, we need to see the scale. And typically something else you'll see, even though we've got 1, 2, 3, and the 4 main pieces of information here on your title block, there's typically some other information on here that's usually helpful to the machinist. So you may see date of issue. You may have another block here, a signature, the engineer who approved this drawing, and then you might see another signature of someone who approved the drawing. Second set of eyes. So a title block or a title strip, which isn't in the lower right hand corner, but in fact runs along the whole bottom of the print, has all of the same information, but just laid out a little differently. Another thing that you will typically find on these prints, you will see probably and most likely a revision number. So if the print has been changed, you'll see a number here so that the operator knows this isn't the original print. So if he maybe still has a copy of that original print, he won't refer to that. He'll look to this revision. You might also see, and usually you do, a tolerance box. And that tolerance will tell the operator, you know, what the tolerance of general dimensions are. So anything 1 decimal place will have a tolerance here. Anything with 2 decimal places here. Anything with 3 decimal places here. So this information is given to the machinist or the operator of the machine so that he has as much information as possible so that he can manufacture this part without any real complications. So you may see other boxes with other information on this print, but typically the idea here is so that the operator has what he needs to manufacture this part. Now sometimes there's additional information that is needed that won't be found here in the title block, but will be found by means of notes around the print. And the notes will be in places that make sense for this print. So let me just show you an example here for a moment. So in this example here of this part, this connector, notice down here, this note right here, except where noted, all rounds and fillets are 0.12. So this note is letting the reader know that unless there's a call out for a fillet size actually on this image, right, anywhere here. So if you look around, okay, here's your fillets here, right? So unless one of these fillets has a call out and says this fillet is actually 0.15, okay, but we don't see any fillets here with a call out, so we would look down to this note and realize that every single one of these fillets, these small radii, are 120 thou. So if we were to draw this or manufacture this, we know that all of these radii, all of these fillets must be 0.12. And so that's by means of this note right here. If you look down here, here's another note, right? You see this surface finish symbol with an FAO, which means finish all over, right? So imagine trying to put a symbol, this symbol, on every single surface here so that the machinist knows that, oh, this surface has to be finished. Oh, so does this one. Oh, so does this one. So instead of putting these finish symbols on every single surface on this part, we just put down here by means of this note, surface finish symbol, finish all over, so that the machinist knows that this part requires a finished surface on every surface. Okay. Also look here. There's this note right here with regards to the material. Now sometimes this material is found in your title block or title strip. As a matter of fact, that's often the case. But in this particular situation, the material is found by means of a note. So it's important to scan all over your print here to see if there is any information that is not in your title block, but is in fact located on the print by means of a note. Now you'll see here, this is not a title block, okay? Because the title block is found in the bottom right-hand corner. This in fact is a revisions box. So that revisions box will refer to the entire print, right? This print has been revised. This is print B, all right, revision B. But sometimes only one dimension or possibly one feature has been revised and doesn't require an entirely new print. Sometimes what will happen is a manager or lead hand can make a modification on the print, initial it, and then make a note on the print, kind of like you saw in that bottom box there with regards to a revision, just noting that there is a change on this print. There is a dimension revision perhaps. So if we just go back to this print for a second. So if you look down here, you'll see that somewhere on this print is a revision, and you'll notice that this person has taken responsibility for that revision, and this is in fact the revision. Part number 2, the 3.88 dimension was 4.00. Well, how do we know where that feature is on the print? So notice here, this is indicating this 3.88 with the line underneath it. That line is an indicator that this dimension has in fact been revised. So that's what you will look for. You will look for that revision information, whether it's in a box like this or by means of a note that has been handwritten on here. But if the print has been updated, this is what you'll see. This line, and then you'll see a little revision box with the specific information. So this part was 3.88, but now it's 4.0, or sorry, the part is 3.88. but was 4.00. So this dimension here is the new dimension. And this is important because sometimes we find that we are manufacturing parts that we've manufactured many times before. So, if we've made 10,000 of these, some of those dimensions are already in our head. So we may continue making that feature or that location at 4 inches when in fact it is now 3.88. So it's a good idea when we get a print to scan that print, even if we've made this part 1,000 times, make sure that there are in fact no updates that we need to be aware of. And this would be one, right? Can you imagine making 100 of these parts before catching that mistake? What a waste of material and time that would be. So with regards to our title blocks and title strips, again, there are 4 key pieces of information. Okay, so we have the drawing number is somewhere on the print, and that drawing number, especially if we're in CNC machining, will more than likely be referred to in the program. The program will give you the program number and may beside it have the drawing number so that you can compare and make sure you have the right program for the right print. You'll also have the company name or your customer name perhaps. Okay, this is the part name or the description of the part. So if this is a secondary connector, that's what you would see here, secondary connector. And then the scale. So this is important too because scale can be 1:1, 1:2, 1:3, or reverse 2:1, 3:1. So we want to know when we're looking at this part, is this the actual size of the part that we're looking at, or is the part actually twice this size or half this size? So that gives us perspective on our setup, our tooling, etc. And then you'll find some of this other information on title blocks. A lot of times, like I said, you'll see the revision information here, at least the revision number. And often, if not always, you'll see the tolerance box here that tells you what the general tolerance is for any decimal, single decimal place, 2 decimal place, or 3 decimal place. One more thing that we will typically see on these prints, notice here the symbol, right? We talked about first and third angle projection a few videos ago. So this is the symbol for third angle projection. It's the third angle projection symbol because we see that this is the front view of a cone and this is the right side view. So this small diameter right here would be this small diameter right here, looking at it from the side, and this large diameter here would be this large diameter looking at it from the side. So this is the right side view of this front view. So that tells us that this is third angle projection. And again, that's important for us because if we work in a shop where we get third angle projection views and first angle projection views, we really want to know where the right side of this part is located in relation to the front view and all other views, right? Remember, the front view is the main view. We want to know, are we looking at a third angle projection part or a first angle projection? So watch for that symbol as well.